Hello, everyone. I'm very grateful that you took the time to tune in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show.
All right,
Listen,
everyone.
We have a great show
we
lined
are
up.
live
I'm
right
your
here
host,
on The Kim Jacobs
better
Show,
known as The
and
Balance
we have
Doctor.
a great show
and
lined
all of our
up
guests
for
that
you.
come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. All right, everyone. So glad to have you all here on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. I was back there doing the music with the show. Sakinna, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Kim. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. And I just want to let everyone know that this woman, as she's balancing all of the different hats that she has, she stepped in for another guest we were supposed to have on today, which she will be joining us on August 31st, and that is Focus James. So I just want to say thank you, because I think that as we're balancing life, Sakinna, for you to just like uproot everything and step in a moment's notice is just greatly appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. And you got the topic and everything that you're going to be talking about. Whenever I hear this topic, I actually think about myself, because I wrote a book about extreme balance makeover and how people balance all aspects of their lives. And so when I hear people ask me to come and speak about Kim balancing it all and how do you do this and how do you do that, I know the answer I have. Yes. I am super eager to hear the answer you have on this topic today. How do you balance it all, right?
Right.
So in a little nutshell, don't give it all away, but like in like 30 seconds or less type of thing, tell us what we're going to expect to hear on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show.
Okay, so basically it's just really simple. You cannot give to everything else before giving to yourself. So no matter whether it's work, no matter whether it's kids, no matter whether it's anything that's going on in your life, you have to pour into yourself first before you can pour into everything else.
That's right. I love it. I knew that was going to be the answer. Anytime somebody talking about balance and all, they're literally going to say probably similar things, which is which one of our state supervisors of women in our department of our church says you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to give from the overflow. So how can you help somebody if you can't even deal with some of the stuff that we all have going on in our own lives? And I'm loving this topic. You know that. I'm the balance doctor. So I love this topic. All right. Everybody grab your virtual seats. Let us know where you're visiting in from. And most importantly, share the broadcast. Let people know that this is going to be an epic episode that they don't want to miss. All right. Let's see who's already visiting in, and I will send some shout outs. Mackenzie, put some of the comments up for me. Mackenzie's backstage if people were like, who's she talking to?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, it's like, why she yelling out a whole name that's not Sakinna J, right? You can pop some comments up at any time. Let me do this. Let me let you all know that Sakinna J is an author, 3-time best-selling author. She is also a transitional and life coach, as well as the CEO of, guess what? I Choose Me Enterprises. Yes, LLC. Why that name? Tell me, please.
Oh, because I have to choose me. If I don't choose me, nobody else will.
How do you choose you? Like, how do you go about choosing yourself and having that beautiful yellow and that bright smile? And you can tell you really love you, you know?
I do.
So why and how do you go about choosing yourself? Because everybody don't know that process.
Right. So for me, I spent so many years not choosing myself. And I spent so many years of putting other people's needs before mine. And once I started to get to know me, I think that was the biggest thing, is that I didn't know who I was and what I wanted. And once I got to know me, it's like, oh, I'm a bad chick. Okay. It's like, I'm dope. Like I'm a really good person. And once I started to realize like what it was that God instilled in me, that everyone seems to gravitate towards, I had to feel it myself. And so once that happened, that's just my thing all the time. Like, I choose me. Even when the kid, okay, I choose me. I'm not letting you get to me today. So it's like you have to choose yourself.
I love it. I love the theory of, listen, I don't care what's going on or all around the world. At the end of the day, I do have enough love for myself to choose me, is what I hear you. Wow.
Yes.
So moms that are out here, we're getting ready. I just sent my daughter back to school, and it's a lot. Anytime, like I've been in the summer, I may sleep in a little bit. Girl, I'm waking up and it's still dark outside. You'd be like, whoa, this is a whole different ball game.
Oh yeah.
So we have to choose our children and family and stuff at different times of our lives. So it's not a either or, it's an and, right?
Right.
So yeah, I love that. I love that. All right. So let me ask this too, with you choosing me, the people that are watching or hearing this broadcast today, what advice would you tell them to be able to put some kind of action step in place to formally choose themselves? Now, this is obviously, we're just having a conversation. Right. So you're right on the spot the whole time here. So we're going to take a commercial break and give you a moment to process that on the spot question. And we'll be right back, everyone, right after this break. Sakinna like, okay, she can ready to work me.
I'm ready for it.
I can tell. We'll be right back, everyone, right after this commercial break.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter & Everett, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, everyone, we are back and we're talking with Sakinna J, and that's her stage name, Sakinna J. That's her, how you have a stage name? It's like J. I guess I could go that route to Kim J. Anyway, Cynthia Lennox, the host of the Cynthia Lennox Show, says that this is great energy that you all have here and great synergy going on here.
Oh, thanks.
Mackenzie said, good morning, ladies. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mackenzie.
Glad to have you all here in the studio audience. Make sure you all tag your friends and invite people. And I see quite a few people that are on, but I don't like to usually yell out names. I see you, Marquise. I see you, Cynthia. I see you, Focus. I see all of you all that's out here, Sakinna, different ones that are on here, but pop some comments in and we'll pull those comments on the screen. All right. When you talk about choosing you,
yes,
what advice do you give to help people choose themselves, whether male or female?
Okay. When you prioritize things in life, you put them in order from the most important to the least important. You need to be at the very top. And so if you're prioritizing your life, you should be at the top because you have to be okay. You have to be satisfied, and you have to be, if you're not okay with you at the top, then how can you pour into everything else? How can you manage the kids? How can you be okay and go to work with a smile on your face? How can you block the negativity that's definitely going to come your way throughout the day if you're not choosing you? So that includes if you need to sit in your car and pray before you go into work, if you need to, make that phone call to someone who gives you good energy, if you need to read, if you need to meditate, whatever it is that works for you, to choose you and to stay in the right headspace so that way you're not going completely crazy throughout the day, then that's what you need to do. But always prioritize you at the top. Before you start working on your list, you need to be at the top.
That's really good advice. And so putting yourself not down here when you get to yourself, but putting yourself somewhere up there that you can then, I know I talk about it in my book too, that you can then be able to serve other people and help. And we all hear the airplane analogy, but it's a good one. And it's one that go down in the chronicles of history that you cannot, if you're over there passed out, you simply can't help the person that's in the seat next to you. It's not possible because you're already passed out.
Right.
So if you put that mask on first, you can at least breathe enough oxygen in, breathe enough in to be able to say, okay, now what can I do for you? It's just a perfect analogy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
Now you are the author of 3 best-selling books. I see you there. Tell us what
Oh,
these
go,
books.
man. You see me right there.
I see you. I see. And so tell us the name of your books.
Okay, so I co-authored in Blessed Not Broken, The Power of Letting Go, Volume 4. I co-authored in Blessed Not Broken, Volume 5, When Being Strong is All You Know. And I'm also a co-author in The Daddy-Daughter Dynamic.
Wow. Okay, those are 3 2 are similar and then 1 is altogether different. So how do people get a copy of your book?
They can just email me at Sakinna, SAKINNAJ 601@gmail.com, where I can share the link. They can also find me on Instagram at Sakinna J for a link as well. Or I'm on Facebook as well for under Sakinna Alston, ALSTON.
Wow. Okay, that's good. So tell us, what is Blessed Not Broken about? Like volume, I know this is volume 4, so they've obviously had others. But talk to us about the volume that you wrote in as far as the anthology is concerned.
Okay, so the first one is definitely very important, especially for the title of my business, because my title in the book is I Choose Me. And so I take the readers on a journey of how I got into a very abusive, toxic relationship and how I needed to choose me in order to get out of it. I give you some steps as to the things that I had to do in order to not only leave, but to leave safely.
Wow. Okay.
And to be able to not only protect myself, but also my daughter.
That's good.
And so I just take you on a journey of how it all started. Me as a kid and, my issues with low self-esteem at the time and what made me feel like I didn't deserve better than what I had.
Interesting.
And so that's Blessed Not Broken, Volume 4.
Don't go on to the next one yet, because there we got to, how you got to put a pin in it. Right. You're saying because you're the type of person I can tell that has some great information and it's all embedded in you. So once you say it, it's like you going on to the next thing. Life is good. I choose me. We like, what? Wait a minute.
Wait, run that back.
We're gonna hear some more.
Right.
You don't have to reveal everything in your chapter. I understand that, but just life circumstances. You were in a domestic violence kind of situation.
Yes.
And you made a decision that it was time for you to get to safety for you and your child.
Yes.
What was that turning point for you that made you make that decision? That enough is enough type of thing.
Yeah. So it actually took me, and this is the thing a lot of people don't understand, it takes a long time to leave a toxic or abusive relationship. So for me, I want to say it took about 10 years.
Okay.
I left several times, but it was when my daughter started to get older. Okay. And she's like, wait, you said people are supposed to treat you this way. But however, he treats you this way. And so when my daughter got old enough to start questioning, well, wait a second, you said boys aren't supposed to treat you like this. It was like, oh, wow. I'm teaching her the right way to go, but she's not seeing me live that way. And then because I'm also a social worker. And so as a social worker, I had a client come into my office one day and I'm sitting there, I'm pouring into her. This is what you should do. You deserve so much better. But I was living it back at home. So it was just like, I really had to sit with myself and say, Sakinna, like, how are you're giving all this great information. Right. You're helping people out, but you're not doing it for you. What is it that's in you that think you don't deserve better than this?
Okay. So you were teaching basically and training people because you were getting them coming through your office and you're like, okay, listen, girl, listen, slap yourself. You gotta get your stuff together because you deserve better. And you're telling everybody this, but at the end of the day, you were going home to an abusive situation yourself.
Right.
And then your daughter became your counselor technically by telling you, I know this ain't the case. Whenever you talk, and my daughter is good. My daughter is perfect for reminding me of
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
She was like, "Mom, I'm sure, I'm I'm just so sure you're not going to tolerate this." I'm
Yes.
like, I guess I'm not. Not knowing that you watching me. God is already watching, but good gracious, you watching,
Right.
girlie. And so with that being the case, no, I'm not, because then I'm gonna be authorizing something that I'm 100% against.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is good. Okay. Woo. Y'all, I'm keeping this up here, staying connected with Sakinna J, so y'all can know how to reach her at any time, no matter when you're joining the broadcast. But I also am putting other information up throughout the broadcast too. This dang. So you really came to the conclusion, and you believe that it was your daughter that was the
Yes.
turning point for you.
Yes.
But then it's one thing when you decide to leave a situation. How do you properly get to safety whenever you've been there for so long and you already knew for 10 years you should have been
Right.
out of it, but
Right.
you weren't? How do you finally get to safety? I don't know the answer.
Yeah, so I actually reached out to the domestic violence shelter here in Lancaster,
Okay.
where I live, and I also they have they have like a legal because I was actually married to the person,
Okay.
so
So it's not no
it wasn't
boyfriend
just
that you trying to just be like, bye boo, while you
right.
sleep. I got to figure out how to get this whole thing resolved and dissolved.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So
Wow. Go ahead.
it took a while. I got some legal counsel through the domestic violence shelter,
Mhm.
which was really great and phenomenal. They put things in place for me. They let me know like what I could do. And when it comes to violence, like whether you're married to the person or not, people don't realize this, but they still help you get out. Like they still help you be safe. And there's even legal services that will help you divorce the joker too.
Okay. Okay. So you had all kinds of assistance,
Oh
period,
yes.
on every
Yes.
level. But you had to do what first? You had to make that decision.
Exactly.
Now, was the person okay with you making the decision and just free will go, or was not? And not even, let's not even only talk about your particular situation.
Right.
Let me share it in a different way. There are people that refuse to let you go. Not you. I'm
Yes.
not talking just about you. Put a mask on you, okay?
Hmm.
There are people that refuse to let you go. They say, if I can't have you, nobody's going to have you.
Right.
If I can't, I'm definitely not going to let somebody else be exposed to my child that now that
Mhm.
you all have together in that case, right?
Right.
What advice would you give people? Now, I know you're not a therapist, a medical expert. You're just talking from life experiences.
Right.
And so the views expressed here on the Kim Jacobs Show are those of our own personal opinions. It's not for any other purpose. Okay. But what tips or advice would you give people to make sure they're safe?
I would say create a safety plan. Create a safety plan. And that's something you can just do. You can still be with the person and create a safety plan. You
Right.
know, who can you call in case of emergencies? If you have to leave everybody behind, who would let you come and use their phone?
That's good.
Who, if you need to go, who would be willing to keep your child if you don't want to take your child with you?
Hmm.
All those sort of things. Make sure you have the right numbers, the right resources, a support system, which I think is very important
That's good.
in those situations because thankfully for me, I had a good support system.
Mhm.
People didn't say, oh, you've been dealing with this all along. Like, I'm tired of hearing your stories. I'm tired of hearing that you leaving. Because I did leave a couple of times. But I'm so thankful that my support system didn't hold that against me like, oh, we're tired of hearing that you left, we tired of hearing that you leaving. They were
Mm.
there every single time. So making sure you're aware of who that support system is for you, create that safety plan and get those resources in place before you actually go, because you don't want to leave and then you're walking around the streets like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Right.
So just create that safety plan. That is very important.
That's, and somebody type that. I know now I'm putting everybody to work in the studio audience. Somebody in the studio audience type, if you don't mind, just type, because actually Dr. Lotus Rache says that note takers are money makers. So make sure you're
Okay.
taking some notes, because it's ways to be able to apply it to your life later when you go back and look at it. So somebody type that, creating a safety plan in advance of
Right.
you leaving. Okay. So then you already knew where to go once you made that decision.
Oh yes.
Okay. And then people that, because I know I can only talk from personal experience. I've personally sacrificed myself and went and helped people in situations that I knew were detrimental to them. And they called me and asked me for my assistance. So I was like, what? You just said a word, girl. I'm coming. I'm right there. And I help. Only to find out that, well, not even to find out, to see with my own eyes, the person together driving. I'm like, I did all of this work. I did all of this. I mean, like sweating to the I'm sweating, trying to make sure this happens, and they just go right back together like it's nothing. So but I don't want to be judgmental about it, because like you say, you left multiple times. So what advice do you give people like me? Forget everybody else. What advice you give people like me that want to help people, and you do help people, but then they still go back? What advice, please?
Okay, so studies will tell you that a woman in a domestic violence relationship leaves 7 times before she actually leaves.
Wow. Okay.
So there's 7 times that a woman be like, oh, I'm out of here, I'm leaving him, and will go back. If it's safe for them, they will go back at least 7 times before they actually say, I'm completely done with this.
Oh, okay. I did not know. That is amazing. So
yeah, studies will tell you that women in domestic violence situations, or just people in domestic violence situations, will leave up to 7 times before actually making the decision to fully leave.
Wow. I'm on a website right now. It says respondinc.org, and it says 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. That's a lot of folk right there.
Yes.
And for trans or gender non-conforming folks, this number jumps up to 54%.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. 1 in 3
and can I say this,
girls.
Kim?
Huh?
Right. And here's the thing. People think of domestic violence as just physical abuse. And that's usually the part where I have to stop people in their tracks, because they think, oh, and I've had to deal with it even with my ex when I wrote my chapter. Oh, you're making it seem like I was beating on you. No, that's not the case. Being in an abusive relationship can be verbal abuse. It can be financial abuse. It can be intimidation.
That's called the whole world then is in some type of
Oh yeah.
I mean, that is a joke. It's serious. This is like the majority of the world then is in some kind of domestic violence situation.
Right. And that's why that number looks like it's so high, because it includes more than just beating on someone.
Yeah, it says
domestic violence is broad.
Physical, emotional, or verbal abuse from a dating partner at 1 in 3 adolescent girls. So our young girls that are in these relationships, 1 out of 3 of them, you put 3 together, 1 of them is experiencing domestic violence, is what this is saying.
And that's why it was so important for me to get out and choose another life for my daughter, because she was at that age where she was about to go into teenagehood. And it's just like, no, I don't want her to start dating and thinking that this is how it's supposed to be.
Wow. Wow. And I want to point this out too. It says 1 in 5 homicide victims are killed by an intimate partner. Over half of the female homicide victims in the U.S. are killed by a current or former male intimate partner. I'm going to put this link, these stats. I really do love when we find these statistics to share with you all. I'm going to put it right here in the comment section so you can go back and later reference. And these are staggering numbers. Sheila Hill says,
yeah.
You can pop her comment up. These statistics are alarming, is what Sheila is saying. And then, Cynthia said, hey, Kim is a terrific host. I have the questions she asked, and they're funny at times as well. Love it. Thank you, Cynthia. Now, also today's episode, I shared with you all earlier a video from attorney Charles Everidge with Hunter Everidge Law Firm, and their phone number is 704. If you're in the Charlotte and surrounding areas and the Carolinas, which some of you are watching from a different country because this is streaming in 100 countries, so you may not even know what I'm talking about when I say Charlotte. But if you're in the Charlotte, North Carolina or South Carolina area, or in the Alabama or Richmond, Virginia area, you're dealing with disability, or you're dealing with any type of personal injury, wrongful death of a loved one, please give them a call at 704-457-5000 and make sure you let them know the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. All right. The information you're sharing is profound. Let's talk about the next book that you are a part of, another best-selling book.
So the next one is Blessed Not Broken, Volume 5, When Being Strong is All You Know. Wow. And all the women in there pretty much takes, the story is built upon, my title is called A Mother's Strength. And I chose that title because I was a teen mom. And there was so many naysayers. I had got pregnant with my daughter after my freshman year of college.
Okay.
So there was so many naysayers like, oh, once you get pregnant, you're going to have to drop out. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. Right. That child now becomes a priority. Well, not only did I stay in college, but I had graduated with my bachelor's when she was 3 years old. And so then went on to get a master's degree, with her. So I take people on a journey of, when being strong is all you know, you have no choice. There was no other option for me but to be strong for my daughter. So it's all the obstacles I had to go through with her father not wanting her, with him not wanting to be a parent, with me having to raise her on my own, to then taking her and moving away to start a brand new life somewhere else. Just all the steps that I had to take to give her the life that I wanted her to have.
So you went I just take,
it's you. People say to me, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you did it. And I'm like, well, I didn't have a choice. In my mind, the only choice was to keep moving and to keep going. And to then later on in life, having twins who are now on the spectrum for autism, and how I'm transitioning and dealing with that, because I was in the work world. I was working for the government and I'm doing all these big things. And then I get hit with, not only are you pregnant with twins, but then when they turn 2, now they have autism. Right. So just going on a journey of how I still kept my feet planted and kept my eye on the prize. Like, I need to still be successful for my children by any means necessary.
Yes. Yes, I am so inspired by your story, Sakinna. See, it was meant for you to be on today's episode. I just really believe that nothing happens by happenstance. So everything is ordained in some fashion in our lives. So I'm grateful that you're here. All right, tell us about the final book that you are a best-selling author on. And I'm sure more to come, for sure.
Yes. So the final book is called The Daddy-Daughter Dynamic. That's one that I co-authored with 13 other women, including Miss Focus James.
Oh, wonderful.
And so Daddy-Daughter Dynamic. So Daddy-Daughter Dynamic takes you back to the very beginning of Sakinna J. And so it's like my relationship with my father and how it shaped me and molded me into choosing these type of relationships, and how
oh man,
and how the absence of my father really played a part in the relationships I was choosing, to dating older men that didn't mean me any good, to just letting people walk all over me, to being bullied in school. So it pretty much takes you on that journey of how not having my father in my life really shaped all the relationships I talk about in Blessed Not Broken, volumes 4 and 5, all goes back to the relationship I have with my father. And let me just say this, the daddy-daughter dynamic is not about bashing my father.
Of course.
It is pretty much about, he knows that he was not there. He knows he was absent, how it shaped me into the woman I am, but also the steps I had to take to work towards rebuilding myself while also repairing my relationship with my father.
Girl, you're going to love this. Okay. For those of you that don't know, I actually train people on how to create your own talk show from scratch. So you can do it as either an audio, video, or prepared for network type of format. Oh, and nice. This person that just graduated from our training program yesterday is, I'm going to pop her up because it's relevant to what you're saying here. Her name, she was just on yesterday. Her name is Crystal Rosser. And we were so excited to have her here to celebrate her. She went through a 6-week training that I did with her one-on-one, teaching her how to start her show. She owns her own content. So anybody that goes through the training, the person owns their own content. Guess what the name of her show is? Well, let me put this too. She's focused on, she was featured in a magazine in her area called Black Face Cleaning Home. She's a business owner and entrepreneur. And so just enjoyed really celebrating with her yesterday. But her show is called mendingme.tv.
Oh, yes.
And it's about what she considers like fatherless daughters and fatherless sons. And she's going to be talking about that tonight on her episode at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure if y'all go and check it out on mendingme.tv on Facebook, YouTube, and she's going to be streaming and stuff, then let her know, say, hey, Kim Jacobs sent me over here to watch your show.
Yes, I'm going to have to tune into that. That's good stuff.
Because it's going to be controversial. We had people yesterday when they were like chiming in and saying all this stuff. Like, wait, y'all just save it for 10 o'clock p.m. on her debut. Y'all can go at it. But what you're saying speaks to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's one of those things where sometimes our parents didn't have the proper guidance to be parents. And so
just like her, my God.
It's at that point, like, we can grow up and we can be 40 and 50 years old, like, oh, my dad never did this and my dad never did. But it's like, did your dad have the proper guidance? Did your mom have the proper guidance? Were they teenage parents themselves? Were they just kids still trying to find their way? Yep. So at some point, you have to start to work through mending. It's not saying what they did was okay, but let's give them a little bit of grace here, because I'm not the perfect mom. I mean, see what I put my daughter through in that relationship I was in, so it's a learning process, especially when you have children young and you don't have the resources or the guidance to help you. It's trial and error. They're just trying to figure it out, so allowing myself to give my dad that grace, actually, and having those conversations with him. Sometimes we don't like to talk. Right. We don't like to tell people how their actions affected us. And so we just hold it all in, and then it's eating us up inside. And then, we're lashing out and we're throwing tantrums and we're doing all this stuff. And it's like, all you have that conversation. Have that conversation. It's going to be tough.
That's right.
Trust me, it's tough having those conversations, but you have to have it for your own healing.
Wow. Okay, this is some good stuff, and I'm so thoroughly pleased with the conversation. Listen, if you all are interested in starting your own show from scratch, and some people have been interested in that, or getting technical assistance on how to work all of these buttons and stuff on StreamYard, you can go to kimjacobsconsulting.com. And I'm actually starting something new. Never done this before, but someone reached out to me about doing it. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, I'll do that. And I hadn't thought of it. We're doing a group training where I'm taking no more than 5 people, and that cuts down the cost significantly for those 5 individuals. And we're going to be kicking off on Monday. And again, if you're watching this and you're like, what day is that? You won't know what I'm talking about. Just enjoy the replay if that's the case. Okay. But it's Monday. We're going to be kicking off on August 21st. It depends upon when you may be watching this show, but this is going into August 21st, 2023. And we're going to be having a group of 5. If you're interested, email me and confirm your spot in this training. We'll still do the same 6 weeks. You will be able to benefit from hearing other people chime in on what's going to happen with your show. And we start that on Monday. So go ahead and get your spot reserved if you're interested in being one of those 5. I can only take 5. I can't do no more than that right now. I'm used to working one-on-one with people, and I deep dive. So 5 is going to push me to the max here. All right. All right. So looking forward to that. When we come back, Mackenzie made a comment. She said that she was a mom at the age of 19. What advice would you give? She said, I got pregnant at 19 too. What advice would you give those that are teen moms that are now still holding guilt for whatever they may have experienced when they were younger?
Right. Everyone makes choices in life. Don't let anyone tell you that you're wrong or you're bad for doing what it is that you did. At the end of the day, you have to keep moving. Your child is watching you. Your child is going to learn everything from you and how you handle situations. So don't fumble. Figure out who your support system is. Allow them to help you. That's key. You have to allow people to help you. And just, reach out to people. If you need help, there's so many resources out there that can help you. You don't have to do it alone.
You really don't. I mean, you don't have to do everything alone at all. And if you're connecting with Sakinna J and getting some of the materials, she's sharing her soul from in her writings. So you definitely will learn some tips from her. And you can apply these things on a daily basis that can help change your life. So I'm excited about you choosing you and going through all that you've gone through. When we come back, I would love for you to talk about, when you say balance it all, that usually means that you've worn a lot of hats, period. It means, okay, the reason everybody's saying is because I have this going on, that going on, this going on, that going on, and I'm hey mom, basically, right? When we come back, I'd like for you to talk from that perspective. What are some of the things you had to balance in your life? We'll be right back, everyone, right after this break.
Welcome to Confidence Tones, where we use a proprietary audio development formula called audio immersion to provide an experience that's designed to help quickly and effortlessly generate positive change in the subconscious mind when used correctly. This experience is achieved using 4 primary building blocks: brainwave modulation, invocation of positive emotions, immersive imagination stimuli, and developmental suggestion. We know of no other source in the world that provides the synergistic combination. With a good pair of headphones, you'll be able to immerse yourself into audio that's designed specifically to help you feel better, do better, and live better.
All right, everyone, we're back and we're talking with Sakinna J today. She's already taken us on a roller coaster ride. Really, I didn't even know we were going to be talking from that domestic violence perspective, talking from being a teen mom, going to college, getting her master's degree, owning a company, I Choose Me Enterprises LLC, being a best-selling 3-time best-selling author. This woman is really balancing it all, right? Having 2 children, twins, that are on the autism spectrum, a lot of different hats you wear. Talk to us.
So, like I mentioned earlier, I am a teen mom. I had my daughter at 19. And so from there, I had to balance working, finishing school, to then once I became in the corporate world, I was, my daughter was 14. I was, in my mind, living my best life. And then I was working for the government at the time. And then I found out I'm pregnant with these twins, right? And I'm like, what? So that was pretty much a big shock and a wrench in my plan.
Right.
But I found out I was pregnant with the twins. I was working at the time at the domestic violence shelter here, the one that helped me. I actually went back and became a social worker for. So I was working there to later working for the government for homeless veterans. So I was working for the government for homeless veterans while also writing. So all 3 books were literally written and published within 1 year.
So once you made that decision that you were going to write the books, you just went all in.
Yep. I got on 2 projects and then I got on another project. So literally they all like intertwined. At some point I was doing 2 books at one time while also doing Focus James life coaching program. So in the midst of me,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I was working in corporate America full time. I had a teenage daughter. I had the twins. I was doing the books, and then I was also doing Focus James transition life coaching program. Wow. So in the midst of all that was when my twins got diagnosed with the autism. Wow. So it was like, even in the midst of me doing Focus, life coaching program, I found out the twins had got diagnosed, which really, like, I mean, that takes your world upside down.
Yes.
And so at that time, I was actually in the process of being laid off at work.
Oh man.
So yeah, so it was like, you got the twins, you got the kids, and now we have this new diagnosis, which comes with a whole crew of people for interventions, behavioral analysis. Like, you have so much going on with that.
Yeah, I know, because I'm balancing something like that too. I'm balancing quite a few things, but that particular thing is a newer thing in our lives too. So lots of stuff.
And that's why I Choose Me is so important, because in the midst of balancing all these different things, you still have to make yourself a priority. You still have to, because if not, you'll go crazy.
Yeah, it's just bottom line. Who could take her? Who could do? I mean, what?
Right. If not, you will go completely crazy. And it's like, there's days when I'm like, I'll wake up and I'll say, what do I want to do today? I actually don't want to deal with no interventions. I don't want people coming to my house. I don't want to drop my kids off at no appointments. We're going to go, and we're just going to go somewhere and do something, and I'll cancel everybody.
Me too. I thought it was me. I said, Kim, this must be a balanced doctor thing, because I'm the balanced doctor. I'm like, okay, you know what? That's it. I feel in my whole spirit that we need to just get a moment.
Like, this is too much. Like, this is too much all at one time, all in one week. And so it could be a Wednesday, Thursday. I don't care what day it is. I'm going to just cancel everyone and say, look, we'll see you tomorrow. Or if it's a Friday, I'll see you guys next week, because this is
five. Give me a high five. I love it.
You just have to take that time out for yourself, especially when you wear so many hats and you have so many different people pulling you from every which way. And then as a transitional and family life coach, I'm trying to help women rebuild and restore their lives after a loss. And so by doing that, I'm pouring into women, I'm pouring into my kids, I'm answering the phones, I'm in meetings, I'm writing. So sometimes it's just like, nothing. Whoosh. I don't want to do anything.
And in the studio audience, I want y'all to put a comment, something like this person, Marquise, said, Superwoman. Yes, that's what she is, Superwoman. Listen, put some comments and let us know if you can relate to anything that's being shared at any phase of your own journey. Does any of this resonate with you? Put, oh my gosh, she's talking to me. Audience of one, this is too much. Oh my goodness, whatever the case may be. She's talking directly to you. Put that, say high five, the hand sign, emojis, put something. My goodness.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's okay to say, no, I don't want to today. It's okay to be a little selfish and put yourself first. It's okay to let someone come in. Like for me, when my kids having autism, I let people come to my house and watch them. I don't send them to other people's houses, because I don't be wanting to deal with that. This is their safe place. This is
right.
Yeah. So it's okay to have people come into your home and say, hey, I'll watch the kids while you and your fiance go away for the weekend. Those sort of things, and not call. That's the hard part for me, because I'll be trying to call sometimes, but I had to get to the point where they will be okay.
Yeah,
if the house is a disaster when I get back, guess what? I'll clean it up when I get back. But I'm not worried about the toys everywhere. I'm not worried about if you fed them and cleaned them, they are okay.
Yes.
They are okay. Don't wreck your brain like, oh my gosh, this and oh my God. They will be okay.
I agree. And Dennis said, I can relate. And I saw Dennis also said, much love. Lance D. Warren said, I am not. Did he say I'm not a woman, but I do pastor and I needed this. He's like, Lord have mercy. I needed this. He's like, come on, preach, woman, preach. They're going to be fine. I know when I had my children, when they were younger, and I talked to people about this, listen, you can bring people sometimes even into your home. So I would bring like my niece and then give some a stipend or something. So I was like, look, I need some help. I need you to help watch these kids right here while I go down and do the laundry or do whatever I needed to do. Or if I wanted to do a date at that time with my husband that I was married to, then we would just do popcorn or whatever, watch Netflix, or somebody would watch a kid upstairs, just so you can have that time together. So it's a lot of different creative things you can do to balance your life, you know?
Yes.
This is good. I'm enjoying our conversation. I could probably have you come on every day. And before we disconnect fully, you stay backstage for a minute because I have something to talk to you about for sure. Because Sakinna J, this is not, you ain't just no best. Okay, let me leave you alone. Talk to you girl, you got some salting of the earth to do. Okay. But let me also say too that I don't believe that God will put more on us than we can bear. So if it's some kind of way on us, I believe it's something for whatever reason God said we can handle it. I don't know why or why. I'm like, why, Lord, I don't have to be the person that handles all of this.
Right. And that's the part I had to get to when my kids got diagnosed, because I used to be a master's level clinician for children on the spectrum. So when I started to see the signs for my children, I said, something's off. Something's not right. So me having that background, and one day, you have your moments, and I just cried out like, okay, God, why me? And then it was like, why not you?
Right. Yeah. What makes you think
have the background, you have the education, you have the patience, you have the love. Why not give it to you, someone who I feel like can handle it, versus someone, who might be abusive to the kids, who might not understand the kids. Why not you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I believe God puts in my spirit a lot of times. Why not? Yeah. Why not? When my child passed away, I was like, God, really? Why do I? And people call and ask me to speak about it. I'm like, I don't want to be known for this. I don't want to be. I don't want to be the person coming to talk about this stuff. It's too overwhelming to me. So it's a lot. But guess what? He's like, no. Some other lives have been spared because I put this inside of you to be able to do it. And you're a talk show person. Go help some people. And now we have Gabe's Heart Foundation. So every year we do something, a 5K walk in September, the fourth Saturday in September every year. And we get to raise awareness about sudden cardiac arrest in young people, because there is ridiculous amount of young people passing away.
Yeah, it's happening a lot more frequently, I see.
Yes. Because they're not getting the sports physicals never detect the type of heart defect that a child may have. It's only through like the EKG or the ultrasound of the heart, which is very difficult to get. So God knows exactly who can put some information out there, getting some, and that's why you have celebrities that are also able to start spreading their awareness. And I'm grateful that their children are doing well,
Yes.
Anyway. All right. So what we could talk about when you decided to put a company on top of all of the other hats that you wear. What was that V8 moment for you? Why?
So I was like, okay, first of all, backtrack. I am not a business. In my mind, this is what I was thinking. I don't write. I'm not an author. I don't do business. I'm not a business. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, all these things are coming my way. Like, clearly God has a plan for me. And so a lot of times, I'm up at night with my one twin who doesn't sleep well. So I'm up at night, but that's usually the time that God talks to me.
Okay.
And so it's like, okay, maybe she's not getting sleep because he's talking to me. And so I was like, okay, I choose me. What do I want to do with I choose me? Who do I want to serve? Who do I want to help? And women, we are the backbone and the foundation of families. And so for me, it was like, if the mom is out of whack, then the whole family crumbles, even the men. Yep. Even the men. And, the men are, supposed to be the head of the household and everything. But if mom is not right, if the woman of the house is not right, the house will crumble. So I decided I want to help. Huh?
I said, preach, Sakinna.
Yes. I wanted to help those women like restore and rebuild themselves, because we are that foundation.
That's right.
We are who our kids go to. We are who our kids are going to look for answers. They pretty much look, I know for my kids, they look for dad for protection, for money, and to run away the boys sometimes. They don't like it, but that's what he does. Run away the boys, protection and money. Outside of that, everything is on me. So how can I really instill what I need to instill in them if I'm giving to them from broken pieces? That's true. Actually helping women restore, heal that little girl inside,
Good.
Heal that broken woman, because if you're trying to parent from a broken place, you're going to end up having broken children.
That's right.
And the cycle will continue to go on and on and on. And then what? Now you got these kids trying, oh, that's a generational curse. Oh, my mom was like that. So I'm just like, it's just like, no, you can change that. You can change the narrative.
That's right. I'm
So
glad
that's
that
what I
you had
wanted to
that.
do with my company.
That's good. I'm so glad. And now you're a business owner. Something you
Yes.
thought you weren't going to be. You thought you were
Right.
going to be a 3-time best-selling, not just an
Right.
author, best-selling author, and also a mom of beautiful children. I didn't put your pictures of your children up because I didn't have the authorization of popping anything up. But if you wanted me to pop something up, let me know, and I'll find it. I have stuff.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Because I'm like, I don't know who's who, but I know I can see. I see a bunch of family pictures over here, so I'm like, let me see who's who over here. Then, and I see a little baby too. Is that
oh, that's my niece.
Okay. And I see a whole bunch of folks, so I don't know who to put, because you have like a gazillion beautiful pictures of family over here.
Yeah, if you find one that's like us in all red shirts and Mickey Mouse, that's like me, my fiance, and our 5 girls. Like, and that's another thing, 5 girls. Okay,
that is amazing.
5
5
girls.
girls.
The boy is 22 years old, so he's older and grown. But
Okay,
under 18 and under, there's 5 girls.
that's a rack of girls and hormonal.
And that was something else I prayed about. I said, okay, God, you could not make these twins boys. Like, you really had to give me more girls. And then I think about like my business and the things I write about. And it's like, okay, you have something these young girls need.
That's right.
You have something that they need. You have something that you need. I need you to instill in them.
Right.
So why not give you girls?
God knew exactly what to give you and what you could handle.
Exactly.
I bet this is something I'm gonna find. I think I found something, but this is, yeah. I'm gonna put what I find up. That's for sure. And also, when you even talked about fiance, you just brushed over that. So we need you to deep dive into that a little bit more too, because I was like, wait, what you say? You said fiance. So elaborate, please, while I'm attaching this photo to this email, please. Go ahead.
So I got engaged on December 12th of 2022. I am getting married April of 2024. So I will be Sakinna J. Lewis.
You look I'm seeing your back teeth. I'm seeing way back there. So you really, really, really happy. How did you know that he was the one?
He was there after I left my ex. And it was just his patience. It was the fact that he's like, look, I know you don't want to jump into a relationship, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to help you through your healing, whatever it is that I need to do. And I know he was God sent only because I wasn't looking for it. I didn't want it, honestly. I was like, I am done. I don't want love no more. It has not been my best friend. Like, I was completely done. And then here he comes. And then he's like patient and kind. And he's like loving me through all my flaws. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to run. He's going to run. And he's like, nope, I'm still here. I'm just like, all the times I thought he was going to run. It's just like, no, like, it's that unconditional love that he gives me, that I'm just like, wow, like this is definitely God sent.
Wow. And is he on today watching here? What's his name?
I don't think so.
Okay.
His name is George.
George. Okay. I was like, I didn't know if it was over there or what. Somebody asked a question. Answer that question. Says, Marquis said, this definitely helps with the diagnosis that I just got for my son. Thanks for sharing. It's a great feeling knowing that there are others out there dealing with the same things. Probably talking about the spectrum, autism spectrum. Yeah. So people that are dealing with these type of medical diagnoses, how do you advise them to try to just keep their sanity in the midst of it?
Just to, take your moments. Like, it's hard. There's some days when, I get frustrated, or I'm like, my kids just started saying mom and they just turned 4, so it's like, just allow yourself that time to take a step back, and it's okay, allow yourself that time to, it's actually, I would say it's a little bit of a grieving process with it too, because your children will never be what they call atypical children. Right. So now you have to prepare them. My biggest thing with my twins is I need to prepare them for the world that's not going to be so kind to them. Right. I have to prepare them that the world is not going to revolve around them. Sometimes people are like, no, you can't do that. My children have this. No, you can't do that. No, my children are coming into this world, and we're going to have to highlight what their strengths are. Mm-hmm. We have to figure out, what works for them, but to also switch things up sometimes, because the world is not going to change for you. Mm-hmm. That's right. So really teaching them that, hey, no, you can't do that. You can't do that out in public, or you can't have that, or just basically training them to live within the world that they're in. That's so important. That is so important. It's very important, because it's so many times, like, my kids have a thing. I don't know if anybody goes on my Facebook, they'll see a story I just shared the other day. We were out in a restaurant and my kids are literally throwing rice up in the air and it lands on the people sitting behind us. Oh my gosh. I was like so embarrassed. But in the same token, I said, they, it got cleaned up. And I just went back later to the families and said, I apologize for that. My kids are on the spectrum. This is what they do. And they were very understanding. Right. But telling the people that you told them that's the point. Right. You didn't just let it happen and walk away. You can't be in denial either. Right. You can't be in denial. If you see that something's not right, if you see that your kids are not hitting the milestones that they're supposed to be hitting, right, get the help. It will help them in the long run if you get the help early on. Whew, okay, y'all. This is some good stuff that's been happening on this episode. Mother Julia Harper, I see her comment, and can you pop that up for me, Mackenzie? She's in her 80s, still doing some social media stuff up here. And so she made a comment. She said, "This is a great show, and I am also a winner." And yes, you are. Yes. She has had a person's, Joshua, 16-year-old, she actually ended up getting his heart for a heart transplant that's been beating in her body for over 20 years. And so, praise yes, God. She's definitely a winner, Mother Harper. Yes. Praise God is correct. I'm so glad. So glad to have you on today. I think someone asked how many children we have. Yeah, somebody said, please tell us how many children you have together. Okay, so. And wait a minute, I found a picture. So now I did my little sleuth work backstage. Let me put the picture up. Here you go. Oh, yeah. That's what I was able to find. Yes, that's all of us minus the boy, because he doesn't live within the home. Okay. But he comes with 3. I had the 1, and then we have the twins together. So we are a blended family of 6. And now our oldest boy, he's about to have his second baby. So I'm not a grandma, but I am a Mimi. A Mimi. So y'all are meeting Mimi Sakinna J, who has a fiance that she was like, oh no, I'm not. Oh, look at him. See, I know how to do my talk show work. See, you don't know what I'm capable of. I'm so excited for you and your future. Thank you. Very, very grateful to God that things are working out for you. And someone asked as well, Mackenzie said, them 4-year-olds just started school, so mama gets a break. Your 4-year-old? Yes. Yeah. So they're going to be going to like a special needs school in the morning for a couple of hours. And then they will also be able to go into preschool for a couple of hours. So right now they've been home with me for almost a year now. Okay. So I've been, working from home, doing my business, writing books. So they've been home with me for a year. I haven't gone back to corporate America. Probably don't know if I will, but who knows what the future holds for you. You have a lot to offer this world. So yeah, lots more. Now they're going to be going to school. That's going to be great. That's good. I'm happy for you. Very happy for you and your whole family. Thank you. Everyone, today's episode is sponsored by MajorPT.com. And many people want to know who is Major PT. He's one of my sons, and he actually is one of the episode sponsors. This was him at about 300 pounds, and he went on a weight loss journey personally.
and no surgery or anything in this particular case, but he does a training individually, virtually with people to teach people how to lose weight a healthy way. And he's also NASM certified, which is National Association of Sports Medicine, for virtual and in-person training. But again, if you're in a different country, you're not going to come to Charlotte, North Carolina to get the training. So you can learn more by visiting majorpt.com. And I like that picture. I'm like, I think that's just amazing that you can transform your body like that.
Right.
I'm like, how you do that? And he managing me. I'm like, look, I done lost 20 some pounds. I'm like, look here, you ain't gonna be managing me like this. If I want a ice cream, he looking over my shoulder. I'm like, look here, dude. I'm trying, okay? I enjoy having him coach me though. All right, so I want to make sure you all know that. And one other thing I'll extend as we get prepared to close out, I'm going to get a closing comment from you, Sakinna, in 1 second. But if you all are interested too in getting a download, it's a very special classic download from over 20. It's been many years ago that we did this, but I used to travel with Les Brown. And as a motivational speaker, he would talk to people about how to start a seminar business and how to be able to have it be successful. So how to start and succeed in the seminar business. And it also comes with a workbook. And we have it in an audio download. This is the original content, so it's not been altered or anything. And you can get it right at kimjacobsshow.com. You can pre-order it now. We're going to get the downloads to everybody. But it's like a 2 CD set. We used to have it sold for like, I think it was like $70 or whatever. But we're going to give you the audio download for $39.99. You'll never be able to go back and get that kind of information. Talking about trade associations and all kind of stuff that still make you go to the library today. Some good content in there that you can apply if you go back to the basics. All right. Tell us a closing comment, Sakinna.
I would say to always remember to put yourself first. Always remember to take time out for yourself and allow yourself some grace. Everything's going to be fine.
Everything's going to be fine. When you're trying to balance it all between all of the hats that she wears, and she's still here with a beautiful smile, bright yellow, and choosing her first.
Yes.
Now, how can people stay connected with you? We want to give that information one more time as well.
All right. I'm on Facebook under Sakinna Alston. That's Sakinna Alston, Alston. And on Instagram at Sakinna J, and email sakinnaj601@gmail.com.
There you have it, everyone. And I encourage you, we come on Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please take a moment to donate to our broadcast. Only way this broadcast thrives is through community contributions that you provide. So please take a moment. Now, y'all know people, I've seen so many televangelists and different things. They come up and they say, praise the Lord. And I'm talking about Kim. Kim will say, oh, Lord, hold on. Let me write something, send them a cash out. I personally will send important to ministries around the world because I believe in some of the things that they're sharing and it's helping me. If some of the things that we share here on the Kim Jacobs Show is helping you in any way, shape, or form, contribute to the program and help us help you by bringing guests on like Sakinna. And because it's audio listeners, I like to say it's $Kim Jacobs Inc. And it's also paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. Venmo is at the Kim Jacobs Show. And you can also become a Patreon member as well if you like. And Mackenzie, I don't want you to type it, Mackenzie, but she'd be like, don't forget to say you got to take care of your team. Mackenzie put her comments up there. I'm like, and she's pregnant too, getting ready to have a baby girl soon.
Oh, nice.
She like, don't be playing, Kim. Get the done. Y'all, thank y'all so much for being on. Thank you, Sakinna, for being a fantastic guest.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing.
Oh, I hope you'll come back, will you?
Yes. Absolutely.
All right. Yes, I put you on the spot right on the show. Will you come back? Will you? A lot of people have commented, and she'll take some time and go back and look at your comments and directly reply to you all. Thank you all for being a wonderful studio audience. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look